Where is the
Okay.
passes the Emmy quickly? No, I'm gonna put it here. Yes. That's it.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll get rid of that.
Listen to Clark with my favorite DJ, Jimmy Deele.
Okay, everybody. Hey, welcome. I'm Doc G, of course, of Hamilton Radio, and this is a special show tonight because we're dedicating this to the tribute to the Beatles and all the stuff that the people do. But Jimmy Deele and I, of course, for his show, Jimmy Deele Celebrity Spotlight, welcome the Fab Four.
Yay!
Hey!
Great to have you guys. How you guys doing?
Fantastic. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. So we have Ron here today, Artie and Gavin, right? Now Ron is John Lennon, and of course, Artie, you're Paul McCartney, and Gavin, you are George Harrison. How cool is that?
Yes, it's the best job in the world, Jimmy.
He's George Gray Harrison.
So cool.
Silver Beetle.
I want to start. Let's ask how each of you started with your fascination with the Beatles. How did that happen?
Go ahead.
Well, you cut out just a little bit. What did you ask? I'm sorry.
I want to ask each of one of you about your fascination with the Beatles. Let's start with Ron. Ron, tell us about your fascination with the Beatles.
Sure. Well, I borrowed my older sister's records and basically never gave them back, And in there was, of course, the Beatles, the Monkees, and Raiders and stuff like that. So, I got hooked on music right away. And then once you get, one Beatle record, forget it. You just keep buying more and more and more. And that's kind of
Oakland Raiders?
Not the Oakland Raiders.
Oh, Paul Revere and the Raiders. Okay.
Aren't they Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah. Vegas. For me, I got caught up when John Lennon was killed. I didn't really know who the Beatles were, really. So long story short, my sister had some Beatle albums, and she was doing a John Lennon memorial photo album, getting newspaper clippings and magazine clippings, and that and along with my mom's old 50s and 60s record collection, it kind of got me involved with what the Beatles were and what John Lennon meant to everybody, the whole world. So
and for me, I still don't know who the Beatles are. I haven't heard any of the records.
You can tell by how he plays.
I
tell you, it's a rough crowd.
No, coming from Liverpool, England, I couldn't get too far without hearing a Beatles song being played at the local pubs. And then I fell in love with the Rubber Soul album and the White album. And from then, the love grew.
That really is his accent. He really is.
Wait, the love grew? That doesn't sound...
My love for the Beatles grew.
Okay, there you go. That's better.
Now, you guys are a California band, right? So tell me how you formed the band.
Well, we are, but he's actually from Liverpool.
Liverpool, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cold, actually.
Well, even though I've got the actual accent, they never really let me have a chance to speak. So on stage, you'll hear them with their pseudo-Scouse accents, and I'm always getting told to shut up. So it's a very dynamic gig, isn't it, guys?
Shut up.
Dynamic. Shut up.
We try to keep him George the quiet one, but it never worked.
Yeah, we started here. Artie and I, Artie was performing at a Beatles convention, Beatle Fest or Fest for the Beatles fans, whatever they say.
Yeah, of course.
And his band, he was up there. You were like 16 or something.
No, I was 18. 17, 18.
And so he went up there and sang a Paul song, and his band won. And the next year, I sang a John song, and I won. So we kind of got together a few years later and put it together.
Oh, so cool. Gavin, tell us about growing up in Liverpool and the influence of the Beatles, and give us what that was like.
It was bloody cold, Jimmy. It's bloody cold. It rained quite a lot because it's in the northwest of England, and I thought that every city had a Beatles kind of band, that a band that had gone out to America and done well. And a couple of years later, there's a festival every year in August called Beatle Week that the Capitol puts on. And so you have Beatles tribute acts from all over the world, like Japan, South Korea, come over to play. And then I realized no other band in the world that's ever existed has made someone who's not first language be English learn the songs and then go to the hometown of that band and play to the people. It's just this.
Yeah, at the festival they have Japanese Beatles bands and who else?
You have Czech Republic bands.
I mean, people don't speak the language,
They're
but they learn English from the Beatles songs.
They're singing phonetically, right?
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how
they don't even know what they're singing. Sometimes you just have like a Japanese band not speaking Japanese to each other. I don't know what I'm talking
Well,
about.
sometimes it would be.
And then the'll be, she loves you, yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's actually not accurate. It's actually she rubs you. Loves you, yeah.
Who let him into the interview?
That's what
I wanna
happens.
know.
That's what happens.
Well, there was something too that Paul McCartney's dad said. You probably understand it. He was going to say yes, 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 but it didn't work with the yes, 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 right?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've heard Paul tell that story. That's actually true.
Yeah.
His dad was saying, "Why can't you sound do proper English grammar?"
Right.
It doesn't sound so good that way, Dad.
Yeah.
She loves you. Yes.
Don't make it.
It doesn't make it.
I actually heard that the engineer, when they were going to be doing that actual song, he saw the lyrics and it said, "She loves you, yeah. She loves you, yeah. She loves you, yeah. And he went, "This is going to be rubbish. It's going to be a crap song," but he didn't know how they were going to sound so great and what the chords were going to be
Isn't
like.
it in that movie, Peggy Sue Got Married?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we were talking about Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, look at us. We got some fans looking.
Yeah, we're checking that out.
Yeah, you're checking it out? You can say hi to them too if you want, guys.
Yeah, we pay those people. So thanks.
Hi, everybody. Mary Lou, we don't know you because you're saying hi to Billy. So
Mary Lou.
but we know you now, Mary Lou.
That's Mary Lou Fajetta. She's a huge Beatles fan, and she wanted to say hello to you guys tonight. Also, you guys traveled all over the world, right? You've played everywhere. I've seen you guys actually in Vegas. I go to Vegas all the time. You guys were there for a long, long time. Tell us about, do you have a favorite place to perform?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Vegas is up there near the top 3 or 4 for me because you're in one town and one venue, and you have an international audience every night. You don't know where the audience is from on any given night. It could be from Japan, from Germany, from Australia. Right. That's the beauty of a tourist type of
or
destination.
Las Vegas, the locals.
Yeah.
Yeah. We played all over. We played Carnegie Hall. We played the Hollywood Bowl. We played a bunch of different places. My favorite place to play every year is Casino Rama, where Ringo actually recorded there. I think the Monkees.
That's outside of Toronto, up in Canada.
Up in Canada.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
I disagree, guys. I like to play Liverpool, England, because I get to see me mum. And she makes the best food in the world. Thanks, Mum. I love you, Mum. Can't wait to be back.
Hi, Mom.
How you guys been dealing with the COVID pandemic? What have you guys been up to?
Not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
We're waiting to get out and about. I mean, it's the shows are starting to come back, luckily, and it's good to see not only ourselves, but a lot of our musical friends getting out there and doing what they love doing. It's once August hits for us, we just hit the ground running.
It picks up.
It becomes like the pandemic never happened almost. But
hopefully,
we're hoping it's just another month and a half, and we'll get there.
Yeah,
I've seen you guys. You guys are so close to the Beatles, and you guys are all about the details. I mean, you get it as close as possible to the actual Beatles. How hard is that process to do that?
That's kind of a hard question because some people kind of. Well, there's 2 different ways to look at it. People that think, oh, it's a Beatle band. Beatles music is easy to imitate or copy or sing. But that's not the case.
Well, I love that.
A lot of people, some people get a chance to listen to the Beatles since they were young kids, like Ron and myself. Gavin was, kind of a late bloomer, even though he's from there. Maybe that's why he didn't listen to him, because they're kind of the local heroes, for Liverpool. Yeah. And but some people can have an ear for picking out and imitating and doing the different gestures and how they look. And over the years, Ron and I Ron brought the theatrical side of showbiz, like things that we do in the show. Right. That I never would have done, doing a Beatle tribute. And I think it's I don't know. It's a long-winded answer here.
What we try to do is try to make it as authentic for people so that it recreates the memories in their head. You know, so they're experiencing putting on Meet the Beatles for the first time. If we're playing our star standing there correctly, or I Want to Hold Your Hand, you know what I mean? And they get transported back to that time. Hopefully, that's what we're trying to do. And then for people who didn't grow up with the Beatles, they get a chance to see what it may have been somewhat like when the Beatles were performing live on stage. You know, so get to hear the music live. In other words.
Exactly. I know Artie too. You are right-handed, right? And
Yes,
you had to learn how to play lefty to
Yes.
make it so realistic. Tell us about that. That must have been a hard process.
Well, when I first started playing, after we had met at the Beatle convention, like Ron was talking about early on, I was playing right-handed. I borrowed basses, basically. I bought a 1969 Hofner vintage bass from a German friend of mine. When Ron and I and the other guys started talking about forming the Fab Four, I said, well, if we're going to call it the Ultimate Tribute, it better look like the Ultimate Tribute at the very least, too. So I sold that vintage bass, bought a left-handed Hofner reissue, and just day by day played a half an hour for about 4 or 5 months, and it finally started to become a little bit more second nature. And it's been that way ever since. But most of the guitars in my house are all right-handed. Like I have a whole bunch of – my house looks like Guitar Center, but all my guitars at home. All my guitars at home are right-handed guitars.
Actually, it looked like Guitar Center until COVID hit, and then he had to sell loads of guitars to try to survive. It looks like Guitar Center on Black Friday.
Actually, that's not true because when one disappeared,
just go with the joke.
Okay,
all right, just leave it there. Don't go. No, I got them all back. Just leave it.
Go ahead, Doc.
Now, I wanted to ask you guys a question. The guy that you performed with in Florida, the one that did Ed Sullivan, he's actually a friend of the station. He very good. But by the way, I also took that concert that you had, and I put it on our Roku channel. Everybody loves it.
Okay, you're talking about George Trillinger?
George Trillinger, yep.
Yeah, we don't like him either.
But no, I mean, everybody got to see your talent on that, and you guys really performed a lot of the songs. Did you guys have any special songs that you really like performing that's Beatles songs?
Well, we've done almost every single album front to back live at least 2 or 3 times. In fact, over the last year during the COVID, we've been here at our studio. We have a showroom back that way down the hallway that we were doing live stream shows. So we were doing live stream shows every other week featuring albums. We did a Valentine's show, which was the Beatle love songs. So we did all sorts of stuff. Let's come up with concepts every time.
So what is your favorite?
I'll follow the song. I don't know.
Yeah, what's your favorite song? That's what he asked.
I don't know what our favorite song is.
We've got a studio and I've got a car parked.
You're the Beatles. You don't have to have a favorite song. That's the key.
When push comes to shove, I'd say All You Need Is Love.
That's good.
Yeah. For me, it's Here Comes the Sun. Not only is it the song that I sing, yes, and that's great for me. It's one of the songs. It's one of the first Beatles songs I ever learned, and I thought I would get bored of it. And I've played it. I used to play it every night for 6 nights a week at the Planet Hollywood when we were in Vegas for over 4 years. I never ever got bored of the song, and I think it's just the eternal optimism. And then recently in COVID times, when sometimes you hear the little lullaby of the Rockabye Baby or whatever. Yeah. It usually means a baby's being born, but recently, nationally, all over the United States, you hear "Here Comes the Sun." Someone recovered from COVID, so now I love it even more.
Real quick, go back to the story. Oh, this is a cool story. We worked with Eric Idle from Monty Python a few years back to do a Ruddlemania show, right? Mm-hmm. And so Ron had brought Eric up to Las Vegas to see our show when Gavin was in the show. Right. And when he did Here Comes the Sun, as you know, Eric and George Harrison were best of friends. What did Eric do?
Oh, he was crying.
He was bawling his eyes out, with Gavin up there looking like George.
I didn't want to stare at him, but I was like, oh my God, it's just, you could just see the emotion,
Well, no one told me he was going to be there, so I thought he was an impersonator of Eric Idle. I looked out in the audience and I was like, this guy looks like Eric Idle. I was asking the guy, not these guys, but the other cast. Is that Eric Idle outside? I'm like, no, I haven't seen him. And then I saw him during Here Comes the Sun, but his shoulders were going. I was like, what's he doing? Why is his shoulders going nuts? But Ron had told me he couldn't control the emotion. Yeah. He was just crying his eyes out, I didn't think that was that bad.
I was good.
He asked for his money back afterwards.
Actually, you were that good to trigger an emotion like that into another, person, musician or whatever. That's a good thing. A lot of people can't do that.
I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You should. You should.
You guys worked with the Love Show too, right, at the Mirage, and you also, I know you played all over Vegas as well. But how was it working with that show?
It was good actually. We did an audition. We beat a lot of other tribute actors and individual impersonators to get the gig. And basically, the Love Cirque du Soleil Love was doing a refresh. So they'd had the first show go for 10 years, and they said we're going to just change aspects of it so people who saw it in the first decade can now see a different show. So we were brought in to do the motion capture for that. And the funny thing was, like your background over there, I walked in and we were supposed to do a rooftop recreation, and they were doing a green screen. And I was like, is that the green screen you're going to use for me? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, do you know what George wore on the rooftop? And they were like, no, they're all French. No, we don't know what they wore. And I went, he wore bright green pants exactly like that. If we end up doing the thing on that, it'll just be a torso with no legs jumping around. So the next day I came in and my screen was blue. Everyone else's was green and my screen was blue. So they did the individual.
Well, you had known because we did the motion capture for Beatles Rock Band, and also for the Yellow Submarine, Robert Zemeckis, which got canceled. So we had a little bit of motion capture.
It didn't get canceled because of us.
No.
It was Disney.
Eric Idle called and canceled it.
Well, where can people see your live streams? Because I didn't even know you were doing these, and I would have probably loved every one of them.
It's too late now. Sorry.
They're still up, I think.
Some of them are still up.
No,
you could actually go to
thefab4.com, thefab4.com, and then I think it's on our front page, and you can link right to it.
Yeah, luckily
they're available for stream like Netflix a little bit. You just rent it and you can watch what we did. But.
Yeah, luckily we're not able to. We don't have the time now because we're gearing up to get back on the road.
I understand that. Yeah.
Lately, it's been getting the guitars tuned up again, making sure the electronics work. We had our roadie here, Robert, our technician, come in here last week. I think we spent 2 days going through about
changing strings,
40 guitars,
getting things worked
because
out.
we have 4 sets of gear, and every set of gear is identical. They have 11 guitars, 2 keyboards, a full drum set, a PA, a board, a board for engineering, the sound, all sorts of amps that fold out and they look like the real amps, like when they're all set up. And
but
everything.
you can go online and get some of the live streams. They're a lot of fun. We did Rubber Soul all the way through. We used a green screen, and we were at the Cavern Club, so that was really cool.
We did the Help album, the British EP,
the Budokan concert.
Please,
we recreated the Budokan concert all the way through. So.
And we did the Halloween special where we run on stage on our live shows, but we sauntered on as zombies. So it was a very slow beginning for for the Halloween show.
Oh,
We
cool.
had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. You know what? My back's killing. Oh, I don't know what this is. What's this? Oh, back's killing.
Congratulations.
Grammy award-winning band.
We hate to show this.
We hate it.
I know you should. You should be proud of it.
Just look at the figure. Just look at the different
You
dimensions of
need
it.
to lose
Yeah, you need to. I got the COVID 15, which is like the freshman.
We
15.
hate to show it. We hate that thing.
That's nice. That's
So
nice.
cool.
That's something to be proud of. It really is.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely. What about when Robert Zemeckis pulled you guys for the movie Yellow Submarine? Wasn't George Harrison's son involved in that somehow, Gavin?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. I know that he was involved, and I think they said it was a sitar scene that they wanted to kind of put aside for him. But him and his mom, Olivia, came down to the filming on the day, obviously invited by Robert, but he never told any of us that they were going to be there. So we're in the middle of actually doing the song Yellow Submarine. And, he's directing us. He's saying, right, look up, pretend something's swimming around, try to, and you're just looking at an empty warehouse almost. You're trying to imagine stuff. And that's what he wanted us to do. And he said, you got to overact quite a lot. Like, okay. And then I looked. I'm trying to pretend there's a big fish swimming around. I see Danny Harrison and Olivia Harrison walk in. And I think he might have kept it. The shock on my face of like, oh, my God, these guys are walking in. So we finished the song. And we sat down, and he had a look through our guitars, and he picked up my Rocky, and he said, this is almost exactly like the Rocky that my dad painted. And I said, where is it? And he said, it's in my bedroom. And I said, can I borrow it? And he said, no. So, but he said we were close. He said the red was more of a blood red, and I had kind of a shiny red.
The Rocky
on my
is the Stratocaster.
The Stratocaster, that he painted originally at the Magical Mystery Tour, but he didn't finish until after the Beatles.
Yeah. The whole experience was amazing. It's we had a little bit of experience, like Ron was saying, with the Rock Band game. But and we did all the filming. We did almost a week and a half of filming.
Yep.
With all these guys to do the thing, and we're really, we were just bummed out that it never really saw its fruition.
Yeah,
it would have been an amazing thing to see.
Yeah,
because we saw some of the artwork that they showed us in the big. They had a meeting with us. Robert Zemeckis, the guy's name is Doug Chang, is the Star Wars creative art director. He did it for the last the prequels with George Lucas. So he was designing the Yellow Submarine, and it was basically like the Yellow Submarine they would get inside, and it was a huge like warehouse. So in your mind, it was endless. It was like a huge Yellow Submarine inside.
Nice.
So it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's why we were basically doing Reprise, and we went over it, and they showed us Reprise. It's English.
The Sergeant
Pepper Reprise. And then so what he wanted it to be like a Hard Day's Night. Every time the Beatles played the song, they picked up instruments. It wasn't a thing where they're running around, the music's playing. He wanted a mixture between the original Yellow Submarine and a Hard Day's Night. So he got actors to play the acting part of the Beatles, and he got us to play the musical side. So he showed us a rendering which wasn't completed. We did Reprise, and the Yellow Submarine gets built around us as it was spinning around. It just looked awesome. So it's a pity in the end.
That's a bummer. We were looking forward to go down the red carpet at the premiere.
So we got a red couch instead.
We got a red couch instead. Yeah, a little cheaper.
Oh, you both cracked the same joke? Okay, we got a red couch instead, everyone.
You guys are. I mean, look at the people that are listening and watching you right now.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
They've got absolutely nothing else to do. Nothing better to do on a Monday afternoon.
I'm sure they have a lot of things to do.
They're spending it with you. That's amazing. Because they, even if they had a lot to do, they're still here.
Well, it's funny because we're going to be some of the East Coast fans that we don't know that are watching you right now. We're going to be coming out there in July. We have a run outside of Boston. Cape Cod. We have a Hampton Beach show coming up. That's in the end of July 30th. I mean, if you don't mind, we could just throw these out real quick.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
July 31st. Hyannis.
This wasn't prepared.
Hyannis Melody Tent on the 31st of July. On August 1st, Cohasset South Shore Circus. And we have some more dates in DC in September,
the Warner Theater,
Harrah's in Philadelphia in September, Horseshoe, Baltimore. We have New Jersey coming up at the Bergen Pack, Inglewood.
Bergen Pack.
Awesome. I'm gonna go.
That's October 28th, and also Pittsburgh and the 29th. Mayo Center in Morristown, New Jersey. That's next year though, the in March. But we have so many dates coming up. I just want to throw a few that are coming out.
Check the website because it updates, with things being canceled and moved. Everyone's tours getting, changed and all that. But you can check our website, thefab4.com, and then it shows the calendar there, and you can go there and check it out.
I got to tell you, I grew up in the 60s. I never got a chance to see the Beatles ever live.
Wow.
Only two bands I ever saw was Yellow in Chicago and a big fest in Philly. That's it.
Nice.
But I would love to come see you guys. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, we can get you in. We know the band.
Can we?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Sure we can.
Oh, that's a call from our agent. No, we can't get you in. Sorry.
That's fine.
Flora wants you guys to come to New York. You guys going to come to New York anytime soon?
We'd love to.
Let me check. No, we haven't got anything for New York right now, but we usually play. Where's the place that we play? The Paramount Theater.
Paramount Theater in Huntington, New York. We play Staten Island.
That's amazing.
Oh, cool.
Long Island.
Jersey. It's there. That's listed.
Yeah, there's dates coming up. I mean, we don't have everything in front of us, but we have some of the.
You can check the fab4.com.
Yeah,
fab4.com.
Yeah, check every couple of weeks. Things have been adding.
Just book some shows for us. We'll show up.
Yeah,
we'll play. We'll do anything for money.
Absolutely. So, what about Beatles Fest? I know you guys did it here in New Jersey a while ago. You guys any plans to come back to Beatles Fest? I know they're going to have it. I think in October coming up.
Well, we've never done New Jersey. We've done
never.
LA. No, not New Jersey.
Actually, I did in another band. Yes.
You did.
You did. Okay.
Oh, he did. I guess. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was great. I'll tell you what. You guys really make good sandwiches. I like New Jersey. We just did the fest for Beatle fans, and I think we came like second, on that one because
we got a thing from a listener. I think Mary Lou right here. She said she had met you guys at Beatle Fest, but I guess it was when you were there, Gavin.
Yep. Hello, Mary Lou. It's good to see you again.
Goodbye.
So many people say there's so many people saying they saw you. They want to see you. Do you have any special events for them other than the music you're going to play?
Abbey Road's on the River in September. It's like the beginning of September. So a lot of people, they did a soft opening. It was called Penny Lane at the Park. They just had one stage. Yeah, and I had a couple of thousand people turned up. So people do want to see live music again. And we're headlining this Saturday and Sunday. And I'm doing a George Harrison acoustic thing in the Sunday day. So I've got 3 gigs. Everyone else has got 2. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
That's why you make more money than we do.
I don't make more money than you.
Oh.
I just I play the best Beatle. That's all.
How about playing with his son? How about playing with his son, Danny?
I'd love to. Danny was a nice guy, and we're about the same age. And funny enough, I actually posted on my Facebook page. It's not every day, Danny Harrison plays with your rocky guitar, and then someone said, I don't know, he looks slightly more like George than you, and I said, that's okay. That's okay. Danny Harrison to look more like George than me. It's great.
Wow,
that's funny. That's very, very cool. So I want to tell you about the music and what it calls to me, the music. I've seen a lot of Beatles bands, try to do a lot of music, and a lot of them are good. A lot of them are good, but you guys really, really take it to that next level. The sound, everything we talked about, the quality, the music, the musicianship that you guys possess is phenomenal.
Well, thank you.
To know the chords, to know the sounds, to do the mannerisms and do all them things. How much coordination does it take for each one of you to know all that?
Well, it's a little different for all of us. I think for Artie, obviously, the left-handed thing, having to sing and play, and it's like driving backwards, I would imagine. I'm not you. Yeah. For me personally, I do a lot of stuff where, John has his legs spread open and starts hurting your back a little bit, and you're in the boots, and then I
got to hold the guitar, the J160 higher than normal.
Out that way. And that hurts your back after a while. But and then there's stuff that I personally do on stage, like some keyboard stuff and stuff that John didn't do, just because we have to cover the song as a 4-piece: Strawberry Fields, A Day in the Life, Penny Lane, and some songs that the Beatles never performed live. We don't have any tapes or a 5th member or anything like that. It's what all the music you're hearing is all just the 4 of us. And then for Gavin,
that's what's amazing. Yeah,
everything's difficult for me.
Well, George always had those weird, he said weird harmonies,
yeah.
And then you have to play guitar stuff over, like Day Tripper and stuff.
Day Tripper's difficult.
Weird.
Yeah,
you're playing one thing that they did as an overdub, not thinking I have to sing and play at the same time. But now you have to do everything.
Right. You're trying to duplicate what they did in the studio, and it's very hard.
It's your. I mean, there's 2 sides of it. There's the music, learning the music, and then trying to look more like your character. So
and act like them.
Act like them,
and talking,
stand like them,
and singing,
everything. Yeah, so it's a little bit of everything. We have a little bit of theatrical. I took one theatrical makeup course in junior college. It helped a lot, actually. And we all, none of us look. Gavin, looks very much like George. Our other guy.
Thank you,
Adam Hastings. you don't look as much like George as Danny Harrison.
Oh no, Danny Harrison is slightly better.
But you look good. So all of us have learned over the years a lot of it by trial and error. The sideburns need to go further down, higher up. All that stuff.
The mustaches was a good one. I learned from Ron was that if you have a fake mustache, always make it go to the bottom of the lip, because you won't notice it at the top. But if you come up and you notice it at the bottom, it looks stupid. So there's just little things, and we've sometimes
his looks good.
Yeah, his looks great.
His looks really
it looks
good.
like a real beard.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'd be sitting in bed, like when I first started, and I'd be watching myself, and my wife would think, "Why are you watching yourself?" And I'm like, "Because the Fab Four said that I need to watch myself, because then I'll see how far away from George I really am." And it is true. Once you actually, a lot of people say, with the tribute acts, "Oh, I'm great doing what I'm doing." I'm like, "Well, have you watched yourself?" No, I don't watch myself. It's like, but you can't see how far away you are without watching yourself and saying, "Oh, this is it now." And these guys are really good, because I came in my defense mechanism, like John Lennon's defense mechanism, was to look down because he was blind. And that made him look a little kind of like he was looking down on people. My defense always, when I first started in the tribute world, was I'm from Liverpool. Like, it doesn't matter what you guys do, no matter how much you pretend, I don't need to pretend. And that was it. But then it was a disadvantage for me, because I'd come in and say, "This boy," and they go, "No, it's this boy." And I'd be like, no, it's boy. They'd say Bore, B-O-R-E, so they'd spell it out for me so I could sound more like an American, because the Beatles were English, but they tried to sound American. So then you got Americans trying to be English, pretending to be American, and you got English people trying to sound American. It's so difficult to get that balance. But Ron and Artie and Mike, he's off camera. Come in and just put your face in a sec, Mike. Put your face in.
Put your burnt face in.
Put your bent face in. There he is. There's Mike.
Mike's our sound engineer slash handyman.
Original George. This guy has taught me a lot musically, and also the guys are really great.
And he pays him.
And he pays me. So I've got to be friendly with this guy, So, but these guys are great at just writing down the words phonetically and coming along with it. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Wow. You guys were the first Beatles band to do John Lennon's Imagine, right? I mean, what was that like for you, Ron?
Yeah, well, first of all, I won the Beatle Fest Sound Alike contest with Imagine, so I figured, well, that's my best song. I better do it every night. But yeah, I just felt like, even though it wasn't a Beatles song, that it meant so much to John Lennon and his legacy and how much he wanted peace for the world, that it should be included in the show, considering how he was murdered. That I just thought it was a good idea to put in, and a lot of bands since have put it in their show. But I don't know, it's just such an important song, such a legendary song,
Absolutely. Did you guys ever work with Legends in concert? I'm a big fan of Legends. I go see them all the time.
All right, wait until he's.
I don't know. I think it's him.
No, it's on his side.
He said Legends in concert. Yeah, they lost you, Jimmy.
They lost you.
Here's what we heard.
That's technology, man.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you guys ever work with Legends in concert? I know they're a great big tribute band. I'm a big fan of theirs, actually. But I know you guys had a separate show in Las Vegas. Did you guys ever work with them at all?
No. George Trillinger was Buddy Holly in Legends in concert.
Was he really?
First act. When that curtain opened up for the very first time, he was the first guy out there
As Buddy Holly.
And then, we had a little run in Myrtle Beach for a while, but just it was kind of like an off the Legends in Myrtle Beach. But some of our second cast members and stuff like that. But no, we've never really done Legends. That's kind of like their own thing. We kind of have our own thing. So not that we wouldn't do it, but
we actually prefer. I mean, for me at least, I'll speak for myself. We prefer doing the running the gamut of their career.
Speak for yourself.
Early to late. I enjoy showing the audience.
Absolutely.
I prefer doing 2 songs and getting out to the pub.
What are your favorite Beatles songs to perform? Any of you have a particular favorite to perform?
Any that he doesn't have to play.
As long as he's not singing, that's good.
When they do it as the Threetles, they love it. Yesterday, that's
A Day in the Life.
Oh, let's see.
Really done well.
Great
That's
song.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me see. That's a hard one. I'd say like I Started Standing There as an early one, or Hey Jude as a late one. It's kind of a toss up because they both do different things for the audience. They're both songs that you have to do in a show, a Beatles show, and one gets you rocking, the other one gets you bopping, and doing this, and all that. So yeah.
Did any of you guys actually meet the Beatles? Did you meet the real Beatles?
Yeah, Gavin and I both have. I'll tell you my story first because it's the most boring. Then he'll end it with a much better story. Okay, my story was this: 2005, Paul did a children's book. I think it was his first one. In Brentwood, California, he did a book signing. Some friends, Fab Four fans, actually asked me if I wanted to go down in line with them. They would wait all morning in line, and I could jump in line. I said, sure, I'll go meet Paul. So I got to meet Paul. I turned the corner to finally see him. I shook his hand. What can you say to Paul that he hasn't heard a billion times? So I said, thank you for the music. What else can I say? I love you, Paul. Thank you. And as an offshoot to the Fab Four, for a few years, for fun, we were doing a thing called Wings Band, which is a Paul McCartney and Wings tribute. So I had a girl, Linda, doing the keyboards, looked like Linda with the hair, and I had a 4-piece horn section. And I had a Wings Band shirt on under a shirt like this. So I after I said hi to Paul and shook his hand, I said, what do you think of that, Paul? And I did the Superman reveal. And I said, what do you think of that? I said, Wings Band. And he goes, Wings Band, on the run, right? And I said, yeah, on the run, Paul. Wings band on the run.
What a great story.
Did you
cool.
ask him to play? Have you ever played right-handed?
No,
That would have been a good question.
no, he didn't. But that was my story. That's all I got out of Paul.
Yeah. When George passed away at the end of 2001, Liverpool did its own tribute to George. Rumor was Paul was going to turn up. But usually you get excited about stuff and then you get let down on the day because the person didn't turn up or whatever.
Or because of Ron.
Oh, because of Ron. I didn't know you then. But what happened was Paul had said to the organizers, I found out later, if you say I'm going to go, I won't go. But if you don't say anything, you don't advertise it, I'll turn up. And I didn't understand the logic of it until afterwards. What he was doing was he didn't want the house full of Paul McCartney fans that would know he was going to be there. So he wanted it full of George Harrison fans, and then he would turn up himself, afterwards. So it's going to be difficult to mirror myself. So anyway, I get there, we play our songs, I get backstage. Next thing, I'm standing next to Paul McCartney, and the manager of that band says, "This is Gavin," and he plays George, and Paul goes, "You look a bit like George, actually." And I said, "You look a little bit like Paul." And that was the only interaction.
What he did, he got you like this.
He got me in a headlock. Yeah. He got me in a headlock. I should sue him. He's got a lot of money.
Use that brown dye I gave you.
Yeah, use the brown dye. He's had any excuse to hug me. But I should have sued him because I've heard he's got a few bob. Do you know what I mean? If it was America. That was a great night.
If he was rollover, what happened?
Now, when the Beatles arrived here in America, here at JFK Airport in New York, there were thousands of fans there. When you guys go to a concert, is there thousands of fans waiting for you guys?
Leaving.
There have to be fans
leaving. They leave.
It's the same. The girls still scream. They're just a little bit older now. That's all.
That's it. What's the craziest thing a fan did to get to meet you?
What? Say that again. Sorry.
What's the craziest thing a fan did to get to meet you guys?
It's doing that weird, wacky digital thing again. We can't understand it.
Breaking up.
Oh, okay.
It's breaking up.
Doc, what are
Sorry.
you taking?
Was it
The craziest.
What he's asking, what'd you say again, Jimmy?
Oh, what is the craziest thing a fan ever did to get to meet you guys? I think they lost.
What's the craziest thing? I think he's saying a fan did to get to meet us.
There you go. There you go.
Is that it? Okay. I managed to put it together. Like the craziest thing a fan did. Pretended to be Ringo Starr and then joined the band. That's Rollo Sandoval. He's the biggest fan. Pretends to be Ringo and then join the band.
And then he gets sick.
I can't think of anything that anyone did. It's not like she came in through the bathroom window. Any situations like that.
Protected by a silver spoon.
Has anyone done anything?
Not that I can think of. I'm still trying to think. Somebody paid one time. That was cool.
Someone paid for the ticket and sat in the audience.
That was cool.
That was unique.
Well, actually, there have been a few times where some fans, boy and girl, have come backstage and just found their way backstage.
Hey, I've got one.
Who are you?
I've got one for you. You ready?
Go ahead, go.
Adam's playing John. We're playing in like North Carolina or something. A fan goes backstage and steals his wig. Right? Steals his wig. And I don't know how he found the guy, but he managed to get the guy on social media and was like, "That's how I make me living." And the guy had to deliver the wig back to us, but they'd already left, and I was still at the hotel. So not only did we get the wig back, but there was also a letter which I've kept. I've kept the letter, and it was like, "I slept with the wig." I slept with the wig on. It's the closest I could be to getting into John Lennon's head. It was the oddest thing ever, and it was very Mark David Chapman-ish. I was like,
that guy has some issues. Let's just say that.
We burned the wig.
We burned the wig.
I would have, yeah, because you don't know where it was put. But my cousin Sam Mazziello is in Florida. He wants to know when you're coming to Florida. He's a musician as well.
That's a good
We got a whole bunch of dates. Hey Sam, we're gonna be there like almost for a week. Actually, we have shows in Orlando, down near Miami. We have Ponte Vedra Concert Hall for a couple shows.
Come down and lift some amps for us. That'd be great.
Yeah, I believe it's November into December, late November into December. Right. So check that out, Sam.
Yeah, he's awesome, and he's also a musician. He actually does music for Jimmy Buffett. He does. It's called Land Sharks, and then he does his own music too. So he's like a tribute guy.
Tell him to get hold of you. You get hold of us, and we'll put him on the guest list.
That'd be so cool.
And we'll send you the bill. We'll send you the bill.
It's okay. He's my cousin. I'm good.
You guys worked all over the world. What are the audiences like? Are they different in the United States, or are they different in other places like Germany, wherever you, Japan, or wherever you guys worked?
They like Beatles music.
I think one of my favorite places was Australia, which it's a Western country. Obviously, it wasn't that much different, but it was great just being in Australia with all those accents and everything. But Japan definitely was a different experience for us because the Beatles are huge in Japan. Absolutely. And for us to go over there as the Fab Four finally, it was about 7 years ago we went over. That was kind of mind blowing. That was pretty cool. Yeah, we dressed up like we used the Budokan jackets at the Beatles wore with the red silky shirts underneath, like they did in 1966. Right. And we pretty much did that set. And the cool thing about it was they had a young MC. I think this guy was in his late 20s. He was the grandson of the original guy that introduced the Beatles in 1966. So he went up there and did his thing almost verbatim, like he did for the Beatles, and said, "This is my grandfather. Now it's my turn," and blah, blah, blah. And it was amazing. And they're just amazing in Japan. I think that's probably one of my favorite places to play.
Well, I like American audiences, to be honest, because American audiences are a little bit more, I don't know if the word's fanatical or energetic, but, in England, it's like Canada. It's a little bit more reserved. People just want to be entertained and sit very quietly like they're at a classical, piece or whatever, like Chopin's.
Yoko, speaking of Japan, hello, Yoko.
Hello, Yoko.
Hello, Yoko. Oh, Yoko.
So,
Konnichiwa.
Awesome. So I wanted to ask you guys.
You know what? I'll just close it
Yoko
there.
said hi.
Yoko said hi. That's it. Right.
Finish what you were saying. Finish what you were
I've
saying.
seen the dog in Up, and it goes squirrel, and it sees a squirrel. That's Ardy. Ardy will literally see something and go, right, what's going on? If it takes his attention. But the American fans, one time I was in Seattle, I looked out through the curtain, and most people were 75 and above. The youngest person must have been about 70. And I originally thought this is going to be a terrible show. They're going to be saying, listen, we're going to turn down the volume, turn it down to 1. And it wasn't. It was the most energetic, craziest crowd I've ever played in front of. So you never know what you're going to get. You can't judge a crowd by what they look like.
That's what I said. The girls still scream. They're just a little bit older now, and they're screaming about different things. But that's
amazing.
I got my back. I'm just joking.
Someone stood on my foot.
There was a question.
Someone asked about Adam.
Yeah, Adam Hastings, who was John Lennon of the Fab Four. He had, because of COVID, he had to kind of hightail it out of Las Vegas, where he was living with his family.
It's like the Von Traps. He had to run for the hills when the COVID hit.
So he had the opportunity before everything got locked down to go back to England where he had his roots, right? So Adam will be coming back later on this year to do a string of shows for us. So Adam's still around, and he'll be doing shows in a few months. When everything starts, little by little, things will get normalized, and we'll have more information. But he does have shows booked with us this year.
And I'll go back to retirement. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Now you guys do these shows all the time. And you're going back on the road. Do you constantly watch movies and look at albums and go, look, well, there's a new thing we could try. There's a new song we can add.
Always.
There's always, right? There's always something there you can bring out. It's just amazing. The Beatles, it's endless. It's endless.
There's something in a movie that you pick up, just a gesture, just a quick little gesture, a head shake.
Squirrel,
yeah. On the music, and that's the thing that's really set the Fab Four apart from a lot of the other bands that are great in their own right. They do their thing, we do our thing, and I think that attention to details, with the music is the Bible to us. We're never going to be them. We're never going to sound exactly like them or look exactly like them. All we can do is portray with a lot of sincerity and love for the Beatles in a 2-hour show, and exude that to the audience, and hopefully they understand at the end of the show how much we love the Beatles too.
What was it like to do the International Beatles Week in Liverpool? Tell me about that. That must have been awesome.
Oh, it was great. My mum was there. There was a line around the corner. It was about a mile long to get in, but my mum rang me because she knows me, and she went, "I'm not waiting in that line." And so we went, okay. And so she came in.
You put her in the back.
I put her at the back of the line. I was like, get lost, Mum. But I put her at the front. She felt like the queen. She was like, hello, go to the front, everyone. So she went to the front. Anyway, she was sitting about 3 seats away from a guy who's just written a book. It's called 432. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4 or 432?
I don't know.
I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. A Story of the Beatles, and it just came out as the Sunday Times bestseller non-fiction book. It came out about a couple of weeks ago, and in England, it's as I say, #1 bestseller. What happens is a guy, he was writing at the time. My mum saw him, and he was basically talking about how people are trying to resurrect the dead, and he was very negative about Beatle fans and Beatle Week and Beatle tribute acts and stuff like that. Not in a bad way, but he's satirical. He's making fun of it in a way. And he went to all these places, and he said these places don't exist anymore. The shadows of shadows. They're not even the original place. It's an original place replication of. So he's going through it all. His mind got changed when he saw the Fab Four walk out and sing the first 3 words of "She Loves You," and he said, "Now I get it." And that was a book. And so the Fab Four were mentioned in it on the last chapter as being the turning point for him of realizing what it's all about. And it's the magic of that. So in some way, we do exude some sort of spirituality of that.
We didn't get paid for that.
We didn't get paid for it.
You know, cool story.
It's a very good story. So my mom was sitting next to this dude.
Wow. Gavin, tell us about some of the attractions that the Beatles still have there in Liverpool. Tell us about that.
We still have the Cavern Club. Again, it's a shadow of a shadow in a way, because the original Cavern Club, it's still part of the same cavern, but it has a different entrance. The entrance that you used to have was like a fire hazard. You'd get squashed in there and you wouldn't be able to get out. So it didn't get the planning to have the original entrance. So the entrance has been moved about 20 foot up the road, but you still have the Beatles story. They have a museum, right? When I was there a couple of years ago, they had John Lennon's army jacket and his white piano.
Cool. And Strawberry Fields.
Strawberry Fields has just reopened,
there,
yeah. So Strawberry Fields was obviously the childhood. It was a place for orphans, quite close to where John lived, and he wrote about Strawberry Fields and what it was. So they've just put a new building on that side and kept the original gates. So if you're a big Beatle fan, there's lots of stuff to do in Liverpool now. A couple of years ago, they didn't embrace it. In the last 15 years, they've really embraced the Beatles, and they've tried to preserve a lot of those sites and a lot of those clothes and the stuff that you like to see. Oh, actually, Road Best has a museum as well. A lot of the stuff from Pete Best is guitars. He had one of George's guitars, the Futurama. That's at Matthew Street. So down Matthew Street, you have the Cavern Pub, Cavern Club, and you also have this museum. You can't miss it. It says John, Paul, George, and Ringo all the way down the side of it. So there's lots to do in Liverpool still.
Oh, okay. Also, I want you guys to say hello to my Aunt Vera. She's in Florida. She's a big Beatles fan. She wants to say hello to you guys. So if you guys could say hello to her, that'd be great.
And Vera.
I love that.
Still sound great. You still sound great. So you guys, as you tour, and you toured in the past, some of the celebrities you met, can you name some of the celebrities you met other than the Beatles?
Sure. We had the opportunity to play with John Fogerty it was Bob Clearmountain, his producer, longtime producer. He had his birthday party on the Santa Monica Pier. So we got wind of it, and I'm a huge, I think all of us are Creedence fans for sure, but me especially, I think. And so we got a chance to get up there and play Bad Moon Rising with him.
And we did Dave Grohl's wedding. We did Paul Stanley's birthday.
Paul Stanley from Kiss, his 50th birthday party. He went to, the cool story about that, Paul Stanley, he hired us mid-show.
Wow.
But Sunset
he paid us, got the money out, and just
Sunset House of Blues. He showed up with another Doc McGee, their manager, and Eric Singer. And Paul said in between the sets, I got to have you guys at my birthday party. And we say, you got to pay us well, Paul. No, but he hired us. We did a show, and we had a blast. And I was a huge Kiss fan growing up. I still am, the old Kiss stuff. Kiss were my Beatles before the Beatles.
And then, of course, we worked with Eric Idle for the whole Riddlemania project that he had going on.
Kate Beckinsale's mums. It was a Kate Beckinsale's mum's 60th. And Tim Curry and some other actors were there too. Very intimate party. That was kind of cool.
Being in Hollywood, we get lucky that way. We have a lot of clients, and there's been a lot of celebrity parties over the years that we've had a lot of fun meeting a lot of our heroes.
Actually, we've missed out on some. Yeah, we've got Dana Carvey and Penn Jillette as well. Yeah. Outside of them, one time Artie was asked, do you guys do backyard parties? And Artie said, no. We don't do stuff like that. It turned out Tom Hanks was trying to book the Fab Four for a backyard party, and we missed it.
We accidentally turned it down.
Run, Forrest, run!
So now we do backyard parties. We do backyard parties anyway.
We just did a
Well,
backyard
you should, guys, because you never know who it's going to be. I mean, one of my friends is Phil Hatton from the UK. His friend is best friend for 30 years from Shard End in England, Jeff Lynne from ELO, who's a big Beatles fan and produced Beatles. Yeah.
He saw us, actually. The first connection with Eric Idle was his anniversary.
That's his
about
friend.
almost 20 years ago. And Jeff Lynne, this was a couple years after George died. So there was a lot. I think Jeff Lynne, Eric was there, Tom Hanks was there at Eric's anniversary
But
party.
he didn't want to go to Tom's backyard.
No. But Jeff Lynne got to hear us play, which was kind of cool.
And what was his reaction? He had to be like, "Oh, this is great! You guys sound just like him."
Yeah, actually, the funny thing is we had our old sound guy at the time, and his one critique, he said he loved the band, but there was too much gack on the vocals, meaning there's too much effects.
And that's why he's our old.
That's why he's our ex-sound man. When Jeff Lynne from ELO gives you a critique on production, you gotta
go with it.
Yeah, you gotta kind of trust his word.
At the end of that.
I got a question for Ron. Ron, tell us something about John Lennon that most people don't know.
Good question.
Oh wow.
How do you smell?
I don't even know that.
What was the tea drunk? Remember that time that guy worked with us? There was a guy. I can't even remember. Yeah, it was a very unique tea. I can't remember what it was. It was like it wasn't lemon. We played a gig up in Fresno, and there's a Tivana down the street, and they were doing the John Lennon special, and it was a certain whatever it was, the two things it was, bergamot and cream or whatever it was. And we went over there, and we said, "Oh, is this just a gimmick?" And the guy said, "No, my dad worked at the tea shop in New York that John Lennon always used to come down and have his tea, and he had a tea a certain way."
Oh, wow.
Like I'll have to find it, but we drank it. I didn't even like it. I was like, I don't know why you like that, but it was good to find something that's not the normal stories.
Wow.
Kind of cool.
Same question for you, Gavin. Gavin, tell us something about George Harrison that most people don't know.
Well, do you want to say what John Lennon thing you don't know? I tried to come in because you didn't have an answer.
No, I like that. Oh, do you want me to say something?
Yeah, he's still going to do a John Lennon one, otherwise I won't hear.
I have to do George now.
Oh, you do George then.
Okay.
What's a George thing?
I don't know.
I'm just stuck
So
in the
you
middle.
don't know again?
I'm just stuck in the middle again.
Look, we just know the guys. We didn't know the guys. We just play them.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of something to do with George. I know something about Ringo, which is cool. When I worked in Liverpool, I worked at a clothes shop and we had a printing store. And this guy who'd retired, he's in like his 70s, used to bring around the posters and stuff. And he always used to call me George. Like I'd be downstairs sorting out his shoes, and the boss, and I'd hear him go, "Come in, ding ding," the little bell as he walks in. And he'd be like, "Is George there?" And my boss would be like, "George doesn't work here." And he'd be like, "I need to speak to George." And he'd go, "I think you mean Gavin." So I'd come up. I go, "All right," and my name's Gavin. He'd go, "Yeah, all right, George." He didn't hear me. So I was like, "Why'd you keep calling me George?" And he said, "Well, I used to play down in the cabin club all the time with George and John and stuff." And I said, "Oh, right, cool." So he brought in a photograph the next week, and it was him, undeniably him, in between John and George at the cabin club, wearing leathers,
So
sweating.
cool.
And he was in a different band. And I said, "Oh, did you like Ringo?" And he goes, "I hated Ringo." And I was like, "Why'd you hate Ringo?" And he goes, "You know what he used to do? He'd have the winkle pickers, he'd have his drumsticks down the back of it, and he'd bully his way onto every stage. Someone would come in and he'd go, I'm the best drummer in Liverpool, and you don't need that drummer. I'm the best drummer." And he'd be like, "No, go away." And then so he'd be waiting again. The next band had set up, and he'd go, "I'm the best drummer. Look, I've got my drumsticks. I'm ready to go." And I never heard that story about Ringo because Ringo's always the cool one. But apparently, according to this guy, he was a bastard.
Not from us. We don't think he is. We love Ringo.
I'd like him to sit in with
How
us.
about that question, Artie? Can you ask that question that my cousin's asking? If it was hard learning the bass play left-handed?
It was difficult for sure, but you have to. I get a lot of people asking me, how you started. Like a lot of young kids want to do the same thing, and I just say, if you want to dedicate yourself to doing it, you got to go full board. Get a cheapy Lefty Hofner bass for a couple $100. Sit down and play 20, 30 minutes a day, even when you're watching TV, and just get the rhythm. And if you're really determined, you can do it. It takes dedication.
You guys didn't have any lessons at all. You guys did it all on your own pretty much, right?
No lessons to learn how to play Beatles stuff. No, everything's by ear. None of us read music.
By ear, right. That's
None
what
of
I'm
us
saying.
read music.
We started before all of this multi-tracks and stuff too. We're trying to listen to mono records, trying to pick out all the parts. Everything's just coming at you like a rock. And so that was more difficult back then.
That's a good question.
What's that?
Didn't you guys do music for the Linda McCartney story? Yes, we did actually. That was about 15 years, more than 15 years ago.
That's right.
So
It
was a TV,
made for TV
CBS,
movie.
I think. Right?
Yeah, and they were able to license "I Want to Hold Your Hand" and "Please Please Me," and we were done recording that.
Right.
And the guy runs in and says, "We just got the rights to do Kansas City. Can you guys run in there and do Kansas City?" We literally ran in there, did it in one take. This guy knocked it out of the park in one take. It was so good. I think it was the best one of the songs we did. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we recorded.
Didn't we do something else on that?
No, Hand Please and Kansas City.
Yeah.
But
Inside Capitol Records.
At Capitol Records.
With Mike. Mike, come and show your face.
I was late.
Mike was late.
Come and show your face.
Mike calls us and says, "Well, what does the Capitol building look like?" I'm like, "Mike, the Capitol building,
Hollywood. Go down, Mike. There he is.
Hey.
One thing we do. Here's something that maybe not something that people don't know about John and Paul or John, George,
John and Paul or John.
But something that people might not know about the Fab Four is that we played. When we say we played Carnegie Hall, we mean it. We did. But what we did was even better because we got to play with the Who. Nice. And this was back about 15 years ago. CBS was doing a run of shows for their upcoming fall lineup, and they were taking the piss. I guess I could say that. They were taking the piss, extracting the urine, and ABC and NBC and dissing their shows and all that kind of stuff. And they had us change words for Beatles song lyrics, and we did their little set and everything. But the cool thing was, the best part of the whole thing was, first of all, we got to play at Carnegie Hall. The second was we got to hang out with the Who a day before for their whole entire sound check all day, watching Roger Daltrey at sound check. Roger Daltrey is singing like it was the show, like there was 3,000 people there. So we got to hang out with those guys and Ringo's son playing drums.
So cool.
It was mind blowing. It was just, and then after we did the show the next day, the actual event where I'm backstage, Pete Townsend walks right by and he gives me a thumbs up, which was pretty cool. And I got to hang out with Roger Daltrey waiting for his limo next to the stage door for about 7 or 8 minutes. Just me and Roger Daltrey.
He's, "Hey, Roger, that's my limo. Sorry."
Just
Did Ringo's
that was
son,
really cool.
Did Ringo's son have drumsticks in his winkle picker and say to your band at the time, "I'm the best drummer"?
Well, what are winkle pickers?
Winkle pickers are the shoes.
The shoes.
The shoes that we have.
So he wasn't wearing winkle pickers that I remember, but it was very cool. That was a blast. It was really a blast.
That's funny. I mean, when you hear some of these stories are classic, guys. They really are. I mean, we don't want to take up too much of your time because we know we only have you for an hour. But before you go, could you guys do a sweeper for the station and the show for Jimmy and I?
Sure. What do you need?
Just say, the Fab Four in voices, whatever way you want. Just say you're listening to the Jimmy Deal Show on Hamilton Radio.
All right, ready? Hi, we're the Fab Four.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, we're the Fab Four, and you're watching good old Jimmy Deal at Hamilton Radio.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Thank you, guys.
Any other questions, Jimmy? And then we can end it whenever you're ready.
Before we go, I just want to acknowledge there was a really big Beatles fan here. His name was Ed Whittle. He was going to be on tonight with us. He wanted to ask you guys some questions, and he passed away from COVID. So I just wanted to acknowledge him tonight. His name was Ed Whittle, and his girlfriend Mary Lou is she was on here tonight. She's listening to us. So
that's awful.
And Whittle, sorry. Yeah, our deepest condolences to the family. We're sorry. Just
those kind of stories are just. There's been way too many of them, and
absolutely.
We hope we wish the best to the family, and we hope that we don't hear very many more of those stories. People get out here and do the right thing, and we're all in this together, right?
Rest in peace, Ed.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other Vegas shows coming up, or
Vegas show? Well, usually we'd be playing there in July, but because of COVID, everything's gotten pushed back. I think we're there in January.
Awesome. I'm going to have to plan a trip out there to come and see you guys.
Yeah. In the meantime, everybody can check out thefab4.com. All the dates coming up. Like we said, we're going to be outside on the East Coast near the Boston area in next month,
actually. Great. Fantastic.
Thefab4.com.
I want to say,
Thank you, guys.
I love
Thank you
Chaz.
so much. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you coming on the show,
We
guys.
really do.
Thanks,
It was a
Jimmy.
great
Thanks, Jimmy.
show. Thank you,
Thanks,
guys. We really
I'll see
appreciate
you guys
it.
on the road.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Take care. Have a good night.
You too.